So now we're finally going to draw all those connections back to Ergo. So I think this part of the video, since we understood all the history even of mining now, I think this part of the video is not less significant, but it will be shorter just because we covered so much already that this part will be easier to understand now. Okay? Okay. I'll make the video work without the computer dying. Okay, so as you know, I'm on Twitter down here at Ergo Prism. Ergo at Ergo_Prism. And I had a thought similar to what my community, my fellow community member that is well known here, has said in a tweet yesterday. Chris Ray said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but currently block rewards for Ergo miners is 66 ERG per block mine. That is approximately $154,000 a day period. In about 5 years, block rewards will be at a bottom of 3 ERG per block mine. We talked about that in the previous video. And if it, assuming it maintains the same level of demand, that same $154,000 a day in rewards with 3 ERG per block reward, that brings the price of ERG in 2027 assuming consistent demand, excluding existing circulating supply, but the new ERG at that time, with the same amount of demand, in the worst case scenario, we maintain it, every ERG mined out of those 3 ERG per block reward from 2027 all the way to 2045, 2047 will have mathematically every single ERG a price of $71.50. And you can see down here, I said, I've decided to make a continuation of my first YouTube video on block rewards. It seems you scratched a very important surface. Stay tuned. Okay. How much time do we have? I don't even know how long the video is. I hope it's not too long or boring. If so, I'll cut it in half and make one about Bitcoin, second half about ERG. Whiteboard calculation time. This will be very simple calculation. We'll go over here, bring up our calculator. So right now, we can do this. It's the same thing. ERG is proof of work. It operates on block rewards. They taper down over time, but there's no halving cycle. Instead, we have an improvement on that, where instead of cutting in half and creating that supply shock I talked about in the previous video, we have a gradual decrease of block rewards. All right, every 3-4 months, we decrease it by 3 until we reach now a bottom of 3. With the IP27 passing, which if you want to know more about that, check out the previous video. So here we go. Right now, ERG is about, for simple math, right? It's between $3 and $3.25, around there. So, well, first of all, block times on ERG block rewards are 2 minutes, approximately every 2 minutes. So there's 100, and I'll do it from the beginning, why not? 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours. You have 1,440 minutes in a day. ERG block rewards are not every minute, they're every 2 minutes. So we would divide that total amount of minutes in a day by 2, and that is approximately the amount of unique opportunities miners have to mine ERG per day. And the current block rewards are 66. So that creates about 40, I rounded up to 50,000, but really it's about 47,520 ERG being minted per day, right? So if we were to take that and multiply it by a nice clean number like $3.25 per ERG, as you know, the current marketplace price, let's say. Well, that's where you create $154,440 out of mining ERG per day. Now, if we were to take that same equation and push it with the block rewards that will begin in 2027, which is 3, not 66. We'll do the same thing. Total amount of minutes in a day, divide by 2. Block times are 2 minutes, right? And now we're going to times that by 3. Boom. We went from 47,000 whatever 500 ERG being minted and adding to the inflationary supply that's hard capped at 97.7 million ERG, right? So after 5 years, in 5 years time, we're going to go from 47,000 ERG, 47,500 ERG down to 2,160 ERG per day. And that will be level, the baseline block reward from 2027 all the way through nearly 2050. Okay, after that, no more block rewards, no more ERG to be earned by mining, but the ecosystem will be robust enough. Miners have a lot of voting power, so there's going to be unused storage rent when instead of you dying with your Bitcoin and you have it on a forgotten wallet in the middle of a landfill like that one guy in the UK. The ERG will have every 4 years, basically the extended UTXO boxes that are inactive, there'll be a small tax. So basically it is paying for storage rent. If you don't reanimate those UTXO boxes, basically 0.14, 0.13 ERG will be taken from that wallet and will be recycled back into the ecosystem for Ergo miners to mine it. So no Ergo is ever lost. No ERG rather is ever lost. So that will help sustain miners, and by 2050, you best believe there's going to be a lot of people that forget about their ERG or unfortunately pass away or forget their passwords and seed phrases. And then also transaction fees. The more dApps, the more ecosystem growth. You can imagine, in 20, 25 years, what type of growth will be. We saw Cardano go from 2017 to launching all the way to 2021. And finally, when they integrated smart contracts and they had a lot of visibility, they were a top 10 cryptocurrency. Now we have hundreds of dApps coming online in Cardano, whereas before there were none. And Ergo it's exponentially growing in the dApp sector. So all those transaction fees, that's what miners will get instead of the actual ERG token. So they'll still be able to do it for a profit, to mine as a profitable business. So anyway, we have this, right? This will be the total block rewards in ERG for miners per day, right? Now, if we take, we take that $154,000 per day that we currently produce in US dollars now, right? We take assuming the worst case scenario that we just have a steady, even demand from early 2020 in terms of the amount of the market value of each ERG token that it adds to the circulating supply. And we change nothing else, right? $154,000. That's what we currently have in US dollar value being produced every day on the blockchain. Okay, and we divide that by the block rewards that people will begin to receive in 2027 for the next 2 decades thereafter. This is the price in US dollars for each ERG token. From 2027, the new ones, the ones when we're about 84, when we have 85% of the circulating supply already by 2027, this is what every single ERG token mathematically would be worth. Assuming consistent demand, baseline demand of $150,000 worth of ERG today, that's currently being produced. This is what each individual ERG token being added to the circulating supply would be worth. So let's say the total, the price of an individual ERG token is under this number of nearly $72, right? Well, this, because of scarcity and consistent 2022 demand levels of 154,000, right, dollars, and the scarcity of the ERG block rewards, this number essentially acts as gravity, attracting, if the number is lower, right? Let's say ERG is only $30 or $20 or $50. Well, this number every day will be bringing up the value of the circulating supply, almost like pulling it like gravity. Like if the circulating supply is the moon and the earth, well, and then the moon would crash into the earth. You get what I mean? The gravity, the gravitational pull of this price would help to every day be bringing the price of the circulating supply, those coins, coins already in supply from pre-2027 would bring it closer to this price of nearly $72 minimum, maintaining a consistent demand of what is currently being produced in the marketplace now. 66 ERG times 325. Okay, I'm sorry, 47,000 ERG, right? 66 times the 720, block times the 2 minutes, right? And we times that amount of ERG currently by the market price of 325. This put into the block rewards of 2027 onward would be about $72 per ERG token. I didn't draw anything on this graph. I explained it all, but I hope you guys got it because we're moving on. I don't have too much time before my computer dies, right? Okay, so finally, remember, because ERG can be mined without, it's ASIC resistant. It's not only that it is mined with GPUs, is that it is a non-negotiable that it can be mined with anything less or more, right? Minimum memory requirements on the GPUs right now for ERG are like 3 or 4 gigabytes of VRAM, right? And that'll increase over time with network difficulty. But basically, you can't do it with CPUs, you can't do it with ASICs. You got to be right in this nice middle ground of GPUs. So basically, it's impossible to stop proof of work mining in Ergo's ecosystem because ASICs are, Bitcoin mining is essentially a centralized ASIC mining farm that is very easy to see through electric bills and literally big warehouses physically in the real world to see who's doing what in terms of mining. We saw China crack down on Bitcoin mining, and I mean, you can't get everybody, but you could get most of them out if legislation, your government were to knock out proof of work mining, like the European Union, their parliament or whatever was trying to hold a vote for that. They did twice, it got turned down. But even in the worst case scenario, let's say they ban proof of work mining, you can't ban GPU mining, you can't ban ERG mining, because basically every computer, every gaming computer or whatever, those parts, all of that is used in other use cases other than just mining ERG. You see what I mean? So ASICs have only one purpose, to mine Bitcoin or hard forks of Bitcoin like Dashcoin or Monero and things of that nature, right? But you can't ban GPUs because they're multi-purpose and everybody basically can have one. And if you think of a YouTuber streaming video games, they could be playing games in the morning or the afternoon, earning a living doing YouTube and mining ERG at night. Anybody could participate as long as they fulfill the minimum GPU VRAM requirements. Again, around 3 gigabytes, soon to be 4 sometime soon, maybe in the next year or two. So anyway, here are the Ergo mining pools. So it's important to prevent a 51% attack that we try to decentralize this as much as possible. So far, it's been doing a great job, but if you are a nano pool, please try to delegate your hash power to a different pool so we can have true decentralization of hash rate and everybody can produce blocks in a mining pool that, or solo mine it if you can, but in a mining pool, relatively consistently find these new blocks. And you can see over here, I'm on mining pool stats.stream. And here, if you type in ERG on the left, Ergo, you'll see every major pool in the last time they found a block and their total hash rate and total percentage of what they make up. So right now, hopefully Nanopool keeps going down, maybe Hero Miners as well, and we get some of this hash rate even more divided amongst this pie. Forgive me for going, relatively, fast. I might sound like a mess, but I'm trying to finish this video before the computer dies, right? So real quick, Ravencoin, which is a hard fork of Bitcoin, also ASIC resistant. They had their halving from 5,000 Ravencoins to 2,500 back in January of 2022. Okay, apparently around January 10th. And if we go back to coin stats over here, if I can find that real quick, January 10th. So right around here, end of the year, beginning of January, you can see that this, in anticipation of the halving, just like we saw in the previous Bitcoin chart, in anticipation, the price went up to sort of compensate for the halving and the half of the amount of coins being in the block rewards. But it kind of backfired because now Ravencoin, because it doesn't have any real utility and it's just a hard fork of Bitcoin that's ASIC resistant, basically the price fell, and Ravencoin is relatively unprofitable compared to pre-halving. But this is another reason to avoid halvings, I suppose, because it's just a supply shock and you're gambling on whether miners are going to continue mining or buy it off the marketplace. In the case of Ravencoin, as of right now, their halving actually went against them. So it's better with, to taper off rewards in the way that ERG block rewards do. Bitcoin mining is a competition of sorts. Miners are essentially racing to be the first to add new blocks to the blockchain. For each block added, they receive a certain number of new Bitcoins as a reward. The originator of Bitcoin programmed the block reward to be cut in half at regular intervals. Looks like this webpage actually was something that I was going to add in. I should have put earlier on. But anyway, there's going to be 64 total Bitcoin halvings, and by 2140, they will all be over. And then finally, how much I got? I have plenty of time. Okay, so finally, not only did I focus on Bitcoin to summarize, just because it's important to see how we got to this point in the crypto industry and the security, how block rewards function, especially since Ergo functions in a very similar manner. It's not only that, but it's also because until we have a complete decoupling of prices of, I hate to use the word altcoins, but let's call it for what it is, altcoins. Until we see a decoupling between Bitcoin and even Ethereum from the rest of the cryptocurrencies in the space, at least the serious competitors, right? Basically, it matters where Bitcoin's price goes because that influences, at least in the near future, short term, what the price of every other crypto currency in the industry, where they go as well. Usually, not always, usually. And that decoupling, I believe, will occur, especially as Bitcoin, the rewards become a little too ridiculously low and people are looking for new, more novel technologies, better technologies that still have the same security assumptions. In this case, Ergo would be the most complete package, right? Taking the best of Bitcoin, taking the best of Ethereum. Even the core developer, Alexander Cherpanoy, made no secret in his mainnet release back in July 2019. He had a presentation. He literally said in the PowerPoint, like, we are taking the best parts of Bitcoin and Ethereum and other things like Oracle pools and privacy tools, and we're going to put them all into this, like, sort of like a platypus, and make it better than all of those other things separately. We're going to combine the best, like a big Decepticon or Optimus Prime, and have every part of the robot be as best as it possibly can be, and addressing the shortcomings of these protocols. Now, remember, Ergo's core dev, while we're speaking on him, he's been in the crypto industry since 2011. He's one of the smartest people in the entire industry that has done academic research and development all at the same time, and has been around basically almost from the beginning of the entire crypto industry that began with Bitcoin in 2009. So finally, if you look here at Bitcoin's halving, I want to go back to that. It was May of 2020. Okay. In anticipation, back in March of 2020, as we all remember, COVID was driving everything down to the ground in terms of global markets. And in anticipation of the halving, Bitcoin recovered from like a low of like sub 4,000, I believe it was. It's not on the chart. And in anticipation of the halving, reaching that block height, the price went up as well. And as we know, the rest is history. So I thought that was fun to compare. Okay, where are we now? 2%. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. We made it to the end of the video. I was attempting to do an Ergo raffle, which is essentially like a crowdfunding alternative, an Ergo crowdfunding alternative to like Patreon or GoFundMe or something like that. But basically, I figured let's cut all of that out. And if anything that I presented in this video or the previous one was insightful, helpful to you, if you enjoyed it, please consider donating to my direct ERG address. Let's cut out any middleman. Any donation, big or small, helps to support this channel and keep it ad free. I don't want to have ads, YouTube ads anywhere or anything like that. I prefer to keep it open source, so to speak, even though YouTube is Google's platform, right? But keep the information open source, right? Anybody can access it. And if you would be so kind, if you want to donate, here's my QR code. You can do it with any of the, sort of like common Ergo wallets, Ergo mobile app. What are the other ones? Nautilus. I suppose Yoroi, if anybody still uses that. But yeah, if the QR code doesn't work, try to if you're on Ergo mobile wallet, I noticed that doesn't work immediately, maybe because this is a new ERG address, but try to click on the wallet that you have and then click on the QR scanner in the top right corner while you're inside the actual wallet that has a name and everything and a balance. So you click on the wallet and then go to the top right, click on the QR scanner, and usually it works when you do that. So yeah, anything big or small, I really do appreciate it. That helps to support the channel for future videos as well, educational stuff. So please consider it. It would help a lot and motivate me in the future to continue everything ad-free and open to the public. Finally, feel free to follow me on Twitter at ergo_prism. There's also an NFT collection we're working on here. So far, so good. And you can follow that as well if you like. Sigma Village, at Sigma Village. Okay, and we have daily auctions on Ergo's auction house. So yeah. Oh, this one already sold. Haha. Okay, anyway, thank you guys for joining.